Alright guys, so welcome to Power Yoga. We're going to start actually by coming to a seated position at what we can consider the front of your mats or your squares or whatever, while I tell you a little bit about Power Yoga and braid my hair at the same time. So first let me tell you a little bit about yoga, because I know most people here actually haven't done yoga before. Has anyone done yoga before? Bruce, you have? Sure,
No,
you've never done yoga. Laylee, have you ever done yoga before? Awesome. So I'm really excited to share yoga with you. Yoga is an ancient activity. It's actually so old that no one has been able to successfully date it. So we know that it is at least 3,000 years old, and that it probably is much, much older than that. The purpose of yoga is a exercise to warm up for sitting meditation, believe it or not. So this is very common and emphasized and really valued in Hindu culture and Buddhist culture, where meditation is such a big part of their practice. I don't know if you've ever tried this before, but actually sitting here, just like you're doing right now, becomes pretty tiresome. I think those of you in primary school will know that best, because you have to sit like this, crisscross applesauce all the time, don't you? Yeah, right? And if you're sitting here like this, and if you're sitting here in stillness for more than 5 minutes, but let's say 45 minutes, it starts to get pretty hard, and your spine starts to ache, your hips might not open up quite as well as you want them to. So that's what yoga is really about, actually. It's sort of an activity to help you prepare for a good, long sitting meditation. The word yoga is Sanskrit, and it means unity. So yoga is not only an exercise to help your body prepare for meditation, but it's also to help your mind prepare for meditation. So what we do with yoga, yoga means unity. The idea of yoga is to unify the body and the mind for this spiritual practice of meditation. It is also can be thought of unifying the breath and your consciousness. And lastly, we can think of yoga as a symbol for an understanding. The understanding being that you are part of a bigger picture, however you want to define those terms. So that's what yoga is about. To start then, we're going to go through this exercise. Power yoga asks your body to be a little bit more physical. And I know that we have many ranges of athleticism in here, so I'm going to try to adapt this to the best that I can for flexibility and strength, for stretching, and for fun. For good stuff happening here. We're going to go through this exercise, and at the end, we're going to end with like a short meditation exercise that'll just last a few minutes. All right? So to start down here, I want us to start training the breath. If we can train the breath, we can train our actions and our thoughts. If we train our actions and our thoughts, we train the mind. Start here by inhaling deeply, exhaling with thought, and you can start constricting the throat so that we hear your breath. We call this Ujjayi breathing, or Darth Vader breathing. You can have your hands on your knees, or in the center here. Palms up if you need more energy. Palms down if you want to feel more grounded. Let's sit here for 10 breaths. Really become aware of your breathing. And in this way, we'll also start warming up the body on such a cool day. You can let your eyes be soft. You can even close your eyes if you prefer. Five more breaths. Now I want you to bring that breathing with you through this entire practice. Let this breathing be a tool that helps you through your practice, that helps your mind as well. Start now by coming into child's pose. Child's pose will bring your big toes together, but bring your knees wide. And then bring your chest to the mat. You can start to stretch out those arms overhead. You can bring your forehead all the way to the mat. Find your breathing here. Now that we are on the mat, we can let go of any of our to-do lists, any of our thoughts about what will happen tomorrow, what did happen yesterday, and we can start to practice being present. To be present, we focus on the breath. Inhale your power, and on your exhale, you can consider shining out your strength. On your next inhale, come forward into tabletop. Tabletop is exactly what it sounds like. Make your body into a table. Bring your wrists right under your shoulders, your knees right under your hip. Look like an embodiment of a table. Your spine is neutral. Here we're going to warm up the spine, for those of us who need it, by arching your back up so that your gaze is looking up. On an inhale and on an exhale, then exhale down, look at your navel, arch your back like a kitty cat. Try that again. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, gaze towards the navel. 3 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, gaze down. Arch your back. Inhale, gaze up. Really get deep into that stretch. Layla, you can really bend your elbows here. Start to feel your spine bend. Exhale. Gaze down. Arch your back so much that you look like a Roman architecture piece. And now tuck your toes and send your hips straight back. This is our first downward facing dog. Here, your fingers should really be engaged. Your feet should be hips width apart. I want you to start, though, as we really get comfortable in this position, by bending your knees here until you really feel a long line from the base of your fingertips all the way through your sacrum. You should feel like we are studying angles through this yoga class. Once you feel that, then start to straighten your legs. If you can straighten your legs all the way while still feeling that long line, great. If you can't, keep your knees bent wherever that long line is. Start to pedal out your feet here so we can feel the stretch in our hips, in our Achilles heels, even to the back of the legs here. This is downward facing dog. This is one of our resting poses. We will come back to this pose many times. However, if you feel like you need a little bit more of a rest, instead of downward facing dog, you can always take child's pose, which was the pose that we started with. I'll show you here. Here is child's pose. So you can do child's pose or you can do downward facing dog. Let's come back into downward facing dog again. Excellent. Pedal out the feet. Feel that stretch. And now on an inhale, inhale your right leg straight up, keeping the ankle actually engaged. 3-legged dog is what this is. Still feel that long line right here. Now your line goes from the fingertips, shooting all the way out through your heel. On an inhale, bend your leg at the knee. And on an exhale, start to twist your body open. Still feeling really balanced here. The weight should be in both hands. And you're starting to feel a really good hip opening here. Roll out the ankles here. Inhale your legs straight. And exhale your right leg back down to the mat. And on your next inhale, you can bring your left leg straight up, keeping that heel engaged, really finding that long line. Check that most of your weight is in your back foot. This is 3-legged dog. Find your breath here. And on an inhale, bend that leg right at the knee. And on an exhale, open up, twisting the body a little bit, feeling that hip opening. Roll out your ankle here. Inhale your leg straight, and exhale your leg back down to the mat. Now walk forward towards your hands here. Keep your feet hip distance apart. Let your upper body hang here. Bend the knees slightly. Let all of that stress go from your lower back. Grab both elbows here. This is ragdoll. Let the neck go. Let the head go. Nod your head up and down. Shake your head back and forth. You can straighten the legs if it feels good on your legs and your back. But otherwise, this is a great way to release stress from your back, especially your lower back and your shoulders here. So feel your body. Where does it feel good? Where are you releasing that stress? That's exactly where I want you. Excellent. Pedal the feet back and forth. Start to feel the opening in the hip. Bruce, bring your stance a little bit closer together, just hips width apart. There you go. Roman, you can do the same thing. You can bring your stance just a little bit closer. Beautiful. Now you can swing your arms back and forth, really letting go of all of that stress in your back and your shoulders. Bring your breath with you here. On an inhale, you're inhaling that cleansing purity. And on an exhale, you're letting go of any of that stress from the holidays. Now plant your hands next to your feet. Heel toe your feet together so that your big toes touch, but so you have about a fist between your heels right there, keeping your feet parallel to the mat. And now slowly start to come to a standing position, rolling one vertebrae at a time until we're all the way up. Shrug those shoulders down, bring them back, tuck your pelvic bone under, and now bring your hands up overhead. This is Tadasana pose, mountain pose. Shrug those shoulders down here. We'll come back to this pose often as well. Clasp your hands, bring them down to heart center. And now we'll start our power yoga process. We're going to start with sun salutations, which maybe you've heard of before. Very popular in yoga. We usually start with these. We'll start with sun salutation A, Surya Namaskar A. With that, on an inhale, bring your hands overhead, shrug those shoulders down. And on an exhale, swan dive all the way down to the mat. Plant your hands next to your feet. And on your next inhale, flatten your back, put your hands on your shins. Exhale, come all the way back down to the mat. This is really warming up our spine here again. Now send that right leg, shoot that right leg straight back so that we're in a deep runner's lunge here. Really feeling that stretch in the hip. Excellent, excellent. Good. Now plant your palms right next to your foot. Shoot that left leg straight back. Now we're in high plank. Check your positioning here. Do you have a nice long line right here? You might need to shrug your shoulders underneath. Excellent, Bruce. Leila, do a quick little shrug right here so that you have a long line. Excellent. Good. Good. This is high plank. We'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2. And now on an exhale and another count of 5, we're slowly going to bring our weight all the way down to the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release your weight onto the mat. Untuck your toes. Keep your hands exactly where they are now. But rather than using your hands, you're going to use your back muscles to bring your chest off the mat as far as it'll come. Wiggle your fingers here. You shouldn't have any weight in your hands, actually. You're just using your back muscles here. Shrug your shoulders down the back. Excellent. This is baby cobra pose. Beautiful, Roman. Now tuck your toes, send your hips back. Do a push-up to come straight up to high plank. Go back to downward facing dog. Excellent. Pedal out the feet here. Now send that right leg once again on an inhale straight up to the skies. And on an exhale, bring that right knee to your nose. Now shift your gaze to the middle of your palms. Plant your right foot in the middle of your palms at the front of your mat right here. Excellent. We're in a deep runner's lunge again. Now launch off of your left foot to come up to your right foot and forward fold here. Really feeling the stretch in the back of your legs. Starting to warm up our body here. Once again, flatten your back. Put your hands on your shin. Inhale, and on an exhale, come back down to forward fold. Lelia, you can reach towards the back of your ankles, the back of your calves. Bring your forehead toward your calves. And now, on an inhale, come all the way up to standing position. Mountain pose, hands overhead, and clasp your hands, bring them down to heart center. There is Surya Namaskar A. We'll do that 2 more times. Now we're going to do it a little bit faster with a little bit more flow, so we get into what's called a vinyasa. Inhale your hands overhead. Exhale, come down into a swan dive, all the way down to the mat. Plant your hands. Inhale, flat back, hands on chin. On an exhale, come back down to the mat. Plant those hands, and now shoot that left leg this time straight back into a deep runner's lunge. Open up the hip here. Beautiful. Plant the hands again. Now shoot that right leg straight back. High plank. Shrug those shoulders under so you've got a beautiful long line. Good, Lelia. Nice, Charisse. Now on a count of 5, we'll come down to the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release that weight. Untuck the toes. This time we're going to come up further than baby cobra. We're going to come up into full cobra, which means you can put a little bit of weight on your hands as you come up into a mini back bend. Keep your elbows right in line with your body. This is about as far as you should come up. Shrug those shoulders down. Now tuck the toes, send those hips back. Come up into a push-up position and then to downward dog right here. On an inhale your left leg straight up. On an exhale, bring that left knee to your nose. Now shift the gaze between the palms. Plant that foot right between your hands. So you're in a deep runner's lunge again. Excellent. Really feel that hip opening there. Beautiful. Now launch off your right foot so you're bringing both feet up together. Come into a deep forward fold here. If you need to bend your knees to keep this comfortable so that you're letting the stress from your back go, please do so. If you're flexible enough, touch your forehead to your shins. Beautiful, Lelia. Gorgeous. Flat back now, hands on your shins. We're studying angles. Come back to one more forward fold. And on an inhale, come all the way up to standing. Clasp your hands, bring them down to heart center. Let's do it one more time. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive down to the mat. Now this time you can step your feet back as you wish, or if you feel like you have the strength, plant your hands, squat all the way down, and jump back into a high plank. Excellent. Excellent. Make sure I have a straight line right here in your body. Excellent, Lelia. Good. Now this time we're going to come down into chaturanga, which means we're only going to come down halfway. Halfway push-up here, if possible. If you don't feel you have that strength, come all the way down or put your knees down. Excellent. Now we'll come up into upward facing dog, which means you have all of your weight on your hands. Your body is actually not touching the mat except for your hands and the top of your feet. Tuck your toes, send your hips back, downward facing dog. This time, you can step your feet towards your hands, or you can squat all the way down here, jump to the front of the mat. Excellent. Forward fold here. Inhale, hands on shin, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing, Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Gorgeous. We're going to add on to this to Surya Namaskar B. Hands overhead. Swan dive all the way down to the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, hands on shin, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands. Shoot that right leg back into a runner's lunge, or you can jump here. This is now your choice. Shoot that left leg back. Now we're in high plank. Come all the way down to chaturanga, half push-up. Upward dog now. Downward dog. Tuck the toes, send those hips back. This time, inhale the right leg up. On an exhale, shift your gaze to the middle of your palms and plant that foot between your palms. Now shift your gaze to your back foot. We're adding on here. Shift your back foot to a 45-degree angle so that your foot is flat. When you feel balanced, ready, and steady, bring your chest all the way up, your hands overhead. You should feel like your hips are very square towards the front of the room. If they feel over to the side a little bit, shorten your stance so you really have power over where those hips are. Look down at your toes. You should see your big toe, maybe that second toe right there. If you see more toes than that, that means you need to bring your knee in. If you don't see any of your toes, shift your knee out a little bit. Gorgeous. Your knee should be straight over your ankle, just like it is. Beautiful. Roman, bend your knee here a little bit. Very good, dude. And straighten your arms so they're straight overhead. Gorgeous. This is warrior one. Find your breath here. Good, Bruce. You can straighten those elbows. Nice.
I can't. Literally, I can't straighten them.
Yeah. All right. Now, if you feel like you have the strength and the flexibility, clasp your hands here. Shift your arms back. Your gaze up. You can do a mini back bend here. And now cartwheel those arms all the way over and towards the mat. Plant those hands on the mat. Shoot that right leg back. We're in high plank again. Check your alignment. Check your lines. Excellent. Chaturanga, half push-up. Upward facing dog. And on an exhale, downward facing dog. Send those hips high. Now send that left leg up into the air. And now shift your gaze to the middle of your palms and bring that foot all the way through to the middle of your hands. Deep runner's lunge here. Gorgeous. Shift your gaze to your back foot. Change it to a 45-degree angle so that your foot is flat. When you feel ready and steady, bring your chest up. Your knee should be directly over your ankle. Beautiful. Your hips should be square to the front. Gorgeous. Your arms are as straight as possible overhead. And your shoulders, though, let those go. Roll them down the back. This is warrior one on the other side. Find your breath. Beautiful. Now, if you have the strength and the flexibility, clasp your hands here, send those arms back, shift your gaze up, mini back bend. And on an exhale, cartwheel those arms all the way down to the mat, plant your hands, shoot that left leg back. We're in high plank again. Come down to chaturanga. Up, upward facing dog. On an exhale, downward facing dog. Now you can step your legs to the front of the mat, or you can squat down and jump to the front of the mat. Excellent. Forward fold here. Hands to shin, flat back. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, come all the way up, standing position, Tadasana, mountain pose. Shift those shoulders down the back. Clasp those hands, come down to heart center. Beautiful. Let's do that in a vinyasa this time. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, hands to shin, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back, high plank. Keep an inhale here. And on an exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, send your right leg up. And on an exhale, bring it all the way through to a deep runner's lunge. Shift your gaze to the back foot. Change your back foot to a 45-degree angle. Come all the way up, warrior one. Find your breath. Clasp your hands, bring those arms back. Mini back bend if it's accessible. And now cartwheel those arms all the way overhead, down to the mat. Shoot that right leg back. High plank. On an exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale your left leg all the way through to a deep runner's lunge. Beautiful. Nice. Shift your gaze to the back foot, 45 degrees. Plant that foot, then come all the way up. Warrior one on the other side. Check your hips, are they square? Check your shoulders, are they down? Check your breath, is it there? Check your face. Does it have a soft smile on it? Excellent. Clasp your hands. Bring those shoulders back. Gaze up. Mini back bend here. Cartwheel all the way down to the mat. Plant those hands. Shoot that left leg back. On an exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now you can step or jump to the front of your mat. Forward fold here. Inhale, plant your hands on your shins. Flat back. Exhale to a forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, Tadasana. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Beautiful. Let's do this one more time. Make sure that we're warmed up, even in this cold weather. Even Nina is now warmed up in this cold weather. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Inhale, your hands overhead. Exhale, bring swan dive. Those arms all the way down. Plant those hands on the mat. Inhale, hands to shin, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back to high plank. On your next exhale, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg straight up. And now exhale, bring it all the way through to a deep runner's lunge. Shift your gaze to your back foot, change it to a 45-degree angle. Inhale, come all the way up, warrior one. We are studying angles right now. Our knee is directly over our ankle. Check that you only have 1 or 2 toes showing there. Beautiful, beautiful. Clasp the hands, bring it all the way back, mini back bend here. And now cartwheel your arms down to the mat. Shoot that right leg straight back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale your left leg through so that you're in a deep runner's lunge. Beautiful. Shift your gaze to your back leg. Shift your foot to a 45-degree angle. Ready, steady, come up to warrior one. Excellent. If you're finding trouble with your balance, shift your stance so it's a little bit wider. Roman, you might want to do that. Clasp your hands. Bring your arms back. Gaze up, mini back bend. Exhale, your arms, your hands all the way down to the mat. Shoot that left leg back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Step or jump to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, hands on shin. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, hands up, standing position. Tadasana, and exhale, your hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now we're going to add on for our standing and balancing positions here. Take these to the best of your ability. I'm going to bring this and this right here and right here. Please use these. If you need help with your balancing positions, you can bring, during our balancing positions, I'll help you with when to use this. We're going to go through the same vinyasas though. So, inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Plant those hands on the mat. Inhale, hands to shin, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands on the mat. You can jump or step into high plank. Exhale, halfway push-up chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, send those hips back. Downward facing dog. Now inhale, the right leg straight up. Exhale, bring it all the way through the body into that deep runner's lunge. We're going to come into warrior one again. Shift your back foot to a 45-degree angle. And when you're ready and steady, come right up into warrior one. Clasp the hands, send the arms back, mini back bend. This time on an exhale, open up those arms. Shift your gaze even further so that you come to the side of your room. Excellent. Your shoulders should be right in line with your hips, flat against whatever wall you're turning towards. Beautiful, Charisse. Check your angles. Is your knee directly over your ankle? Can you only see 1, maybe 2 toes right there? Your arms are flat, and your gaze is actually over your right hand. You want your stance to be long enough that you feel the stretch. So Lelia, your stance can go even longer. Be sure, good. Be sure that your knee is still directly above your ankle. Very good. We want to get to a point here where you start to feel the quake in your muscles. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Stay here. Nice, dude. Here, I want you to shorten your stance a little bit. Can you bring this foot in right to here? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Bring this foot right over there. Beautiful. Now bend your knee right here. Excellent. Bring your torso up like this. Good. Bend your knee again. Good. Beautiful, Roman. A natural right there. Excellent. Flip your front palm here and come back into reverse warrior, feeling that really great stretch along your side body. And now come back to warrior two. Now check your front knee right here and straighten it. Keep your arms out, but heel toe your back leg in a little bit so that you shorten your stance. You want probably about 3 feet between your stance, between each foot. Check your front foot. The heel should be in line with the bridge of your back foot. Excellent. Your hips are between 2 panes of glass. They're not out here, and it's not too far up here. It's directly between these 2 panes of glass. Excellent. Fly your arms out straight. Now pretend that there's a string on your front fingers, on your right fingers. And let that string guide your body as far as you can forward, keeping your knees straight. When your body can no longer go any further forward, drop your right hand down to your knee or your shin. Fly your left arm straight up. If it's accessible in your neck, shift your gaze to the ceiling, even to your thumb. Your right hand is on your shin or your knee. Use that as leverage to twist your body open. Start to feel what we call a heart opening here. It's a stretch across the shoulders, across the chest. You'll feel that stretch in your side body as well. Gorgeous, Lelia. Beautiful. Now, if you feel like this is easy, if you have enough strength here, let go of the shin. Float the hand in front of the shin. Beautiful. Lelia, can you, while still keeping your hips in line, reach all the way down to your big toe? Excellent. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Shift the gaze down to your big toe. Straighten bend your right knee. Once again, so it's like we're in warrior two, but our hands are still up and flying like this. Perfect. Now bend your left arm so that you can grab your left hip. Beautiful. We're going to come into half moon now, which means you're going to launch off of your back foot, bringing your fingers about a foot in front of you, right directly below your shoulder. Bring your leg as high as possible. Should be 90 degrees. Lelia, for you, possibly you can even go to 100 degrees. Excellent. When you feel like you have your balance steady here, you're going to fly that left arm straight up towards the ceiling again. Excellent. Gorgeous. If you still have your balance here, you can shift your gaze up to the ceiling or towards your thumb. Here is where we really want, beautiful. We really want your body to be turned sideways, as flat as possible, between 2 panes of glass right here. You can engage your back foot to help you with balance. Gorgeous. Let me come around. Stay here. We'll stay here for 3 more Ujjayi breaths. Beautiful. Do you want to put this underneath your fingertips? And that will help you straighten out your body here. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. If you fall out of the pose, come back into it with breath. Beautiful, Roman. Nice. Nice. Good. If you feel any pain here, then bend your knee a little bit. Excellent. Shift your gaze now back down towards the mat. You're going to bring this hand that's flying right now also down to the mat, which will change your body. Now, instead of being side body, Your body and your shoulders and your hips will be parallel to the floor. You can stay here. Keep that back leg strong, shooting out straight like a sunbeam. Beautiful, beautiful. If this is easy, take your fingertips off the mat. Bring it to heart center here. You should really engage the back so that your chest is coming up to make a really nice T shape with your body here. If that feels easy, then you can open up to airplane pose. Gorgeous. We're letting it burn on our right leg right here. Now bring your fingertips back down to the mat. Shift your weight back so you catch yourself. So you're once again in a runner's lunge right here. Excellent. We're going to come up straight from here. Your toes should be tucked. When you feel ready, steady, bring your chest straight up. Excellent. Check that your hips are square to the front of the room. If they are sideways at all, shorten your stance. Excellent. You should be on, your toes should be tucked in the back there, Bruce. Gorgeous. Actually, you can probably lengthen your stance because you've got such long legs. Gorgeous. We should feel this really in our back leg right here. Our quads, nice. Lelia, check that your knee is directly over your ankle. Yeah? Check that you can only see 1 or 2 toes right here. Beautiful. Stay here for me. Let those muscles burn. Bring this right here. Can you do that? Gorgeous. That looks a little bit better. I'm going to ask you to bend your knee a little bit more. You'll feel that even more right here. Anytime you feel that quaking in your muscles, that's exactly what we want. That's called playing the edge. That's power yoga. Inhale that power. Exhale your strength. Shine out. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now on an inhale, clasp your hands, send your arms back if you feel like you have the balance for a mini back bend. Now cartwheel the arms all the way overhead, plant them on the mat, shoot that right leg straight back. We're in high plank right now. Come down and exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Here we're going to take 3 expressive breaths to really let our muscles remember what we just did, and also to let go of any of that stress we may have in our face. On an inhale, inhale deeply, and on an exhale, sigh it out. Let's try that again. Inhale. This time, exhale, motorboat it out. Let go of all of the stress that you formed in your cheeks, maybe in your forehead, even in your mouth. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, motorboat. Shake your head out here. Nod your head here. Really let go of the neck. Let go of the head. Excellent. Find your breath again. Let's do it on the other side. Inhale your left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale that left leg all the way through. Plant it in the middle of the hands here. Excellent. Come into that deep runner's lunge. Beautiful. Shift your gaze to your back foot. Change it to a 45-degree angle so it's flat on the ground. And when you're ready, steady, come up for Warrior One. Beautiful. Clasp your hands. Send those arms back. Gaze up. Mini back bend. And this time on an exhale, open your arms all the way up into Warrior Two. You're going to lengthen your stretch for this, your stance for this, until you really feel a stretch, until you feel your muscles maybe even quaking a little bit like a leaf on a tree. Excellent. Let's stay here for a little while. Check your toes. Do you see your big toe? Do you see maybe that first toe? If you see any more, tuck your knee in. If you don't see them, shift your knee out. Beautiful. Really engage your quads here. Tighten your booty up. That'll help your balance. Shift your gaze over your left fingertips. Find your breath here. Shrug your shoulders down. Come a little bit deeper into this pose. Now flip your front palm and come back into reverse warrior, feeling that stretch in your side body. Exhale out, come back to Warrior Two. Look down at your left leg and straighten it. That should feel good. Excellent. We've now got a triangle with our legs right here. That's the pose we're going into, triangle pose. For this, I want you to heel toe your back foot, your right foot, forward a little bit, giving yourself about 3 feet between your legs. Lily, you can go a little bit longer. Good. Good. Now make sure that your hips are between 2 panes of glass right here. Keep those, fly those arms out. Find that invisible string on your left fingers that's pulling your body as far forward as it will go while still keeping those hips in line between those 2 panes of glass. When you've got there, drop your left arm down to the knee or the shin. Send that right arm high, flying high towards the sky. Shift your gaze up to the ceiling, even up towards the thumb. Use the leverage from your shin to twist your body open just a little bit. Excellent. Stay there for a few breaths, really feeling the stretch. Beautiful, Lelia. Good girl. Excellent. Excellent. Nice, Cherise. Can you straighten this front leg? Does that feel okay? Good. Good, Roman. Good, Bruce. Looking good. All right. Shift your gaze now down to your left big toe here. And bend your left leg. Excellent. Launch off of your right foot into half moon. Your fingertips should be directly under your shoulder. Your right hand is either flying straight towards the sky or it's on your hip if you need a little bit more balance.
It's okay.
The problem with gymnastics mats might be foot to the face. It's a different pose entirely. Excellent. We're going to practice your balance here. If you're having issues with your balance, really check your bottom foot. Do you have your weight evenly splayed across all 4 corners of your bottom foot? Turn that hip as high as it can go towards the ceiling. And if you're feeling ready and steady, you can shift your gaze. Start to shift it up. If you're not feeling ready and steady, keep your gaze down towards the floor. Excellent. I'm going to pretend that I meant to do that so I can come around and look at you guys. Beautiful, Lelia. That looks nice. Can you engage this foot right here? Gorgeous. This will help your whole back leg right here. Can you move this hip even further towards the ceiling so you're peeling up? Aha, that's where I'd like you to be. Practice that, especially because you have such good balance. Excellent. All right, wherever we are now, bring that right hand down to the mat. Change your body position so that you're parallel with the floor. Keep that right foot shooting straight back. Inhale the power. Exhale your strength here. Find your balance here. This is Warrior 3. If this feels easy for you, engage those back muscles and come up so that your hands are at heart center. Find your power here. Three, 2. And on your next exhale, bring your fingertips down. Shift your weight so you catch it with your back foot. Bending the knee at your left foot right here. So we're once again in a runner's lunge. Excellent. When you feel ready and steady, bring your chest up. Arms overhead. This is crescent lunge. Excellent. You're on your toes right here. Lelia, change your toes in the back so that your foot is straight. Good. Now check we're studying angles right here. I want your knees to be directly above your ankle. Can you see your big toe? Good. Maybe you can see that second toe right there? Come back up into it, Lelia. You've got the strength in your quads right here. You should be feeling this burn. Very good. If you're not feeling the burn, you can come deeper into it. How does that feel for you, Bruce? Yeah? I think maybe you could go deeper into it, but only if you feel like you want to. Good. Gorgeous, Lelia. Clasp the hands here, send those arms back, that gaze up for a back bend. And now cartwheel the hands all the way overhead, plant them on the mat, shoot that left leg back. We're in high plank here. Exhale, chaturanga, hold it here. Now inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One expressive breath here. Inhale. Motorboat it out. Pedal the legs out. Really remembering all of the strength that we just did in those leg muscles here. But letting go of any of the stress, any of the constriction. We want to change that constriction to shining power right here. Now, inhale. Shift your gaze to the middle of your palms. And on an exhale, you can squat or step towards the front of your mat. Forward fold here. Inhale, flat back, hands to shin. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up for Tadasana, mountain pose. Hands overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now we're going to come to the last series. These are our sitting and reclined postures. We'll get into some fun gymnastic moves for you here, Lelia. You ready? Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, swan dive all the way down to your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, flatten your back, hands to your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Now you can step, plant those palms. You can step or jump back to high plank. Exhale down here to chaturanga. We're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Upward facing dog. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. All right. If you are, let's see. If you are a gymnast, move your hands. Bruce, I think you could do this too. Move your hands a little bit wider than your shoulders.
He's only a gymnast for a year.
Yeah, but he's got the strength to do this. You're going to jump through your hands to a seated position. So Lelia and Bruce, you can watch me here. You're going to squat down, and you're going to jump all the way through and land here. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Lelia and Roman, you can try that. Gorgeous. Or you can just step up front and come down to a seated position here. Nice. Welcome to your mats. Beautiful. Shrug those shoulders down. Find your breath again. And now straighten your legs. Gorgeous. You can remove your booty cushion right here. Take out that extra packaging from the back if you have any. Lelia's good. Bend your knees here so that your toes are on the mat. Now you can bring your hands to the back of your thighs. Send those toes up so that your legs are straight. If this is easy for you, straighten your legs. If that's still easy for you, let go of your legs. Excellent. We'll stay here for 5, 4, 3. Good, Roman. 2. And on 1, I want you to come to low boat pose, which means 45 degrees. Excellent. Your heels are just floating off the mat. We'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2. And on 1, come back to high boat pose. All the way up. Straighten those legs if possible. Beautiful. 5, 4, 3, 2. And on 1, cross your legs here. Plant your hands and try your best to actually lift your body up. Gorgeous. Keeping those feet off the ground. Exhale. Release your body down here. Come back into high boat. 5, 4, 3, 2. Come down to low boat. 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. And on 1, release it all onto the mat. 1, release your weight down here. Gorgeous. Shake your legs out. Maybe shake your arms out. Now put your hands right alongside your body. Palms down. Bend your knees so that your heels come up to your fingertips. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. That means your feet will be about hips width apart. We're going to come up into what in yoga is called bridge pose. This is a little bit different than gymnastics, Lelia, so listen to my cues. On an inhale, keep your shoulders down And on an exhale, only lift your hips straight up to the sky. Excellent. Excellent. Keep your gaze towards the ceiling, but listen to my cues here. For an even deeper stretch here, you can clasp the hands underneath your body here, keeping the arms pretty straight and maybe a little micro bend in the elbow. You can even start to roll your arms underneath your body, creating a little bit of a shelf with your shoulders, and really send those hips and even your belly button even further towards the sky. Your knees should be magnetizing towards each other. Now, if you have the upper body strength or a practice in full wheel pose, unclasp your hands, bring your hands palm down directly next to your ears. If you're not comfortable doing this, stay in bridge pose. Inhale up, really feel the power in your feet and your hands. And on an exhale, push all the way up into wheel pose. Keep magnetizing those knees together. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice, Lelia. Can you bring this foot right over here so you're keeping it? Yep, gorgeous. This foot right over here, gorgeous. Magnetize those knees together. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, Bruce. Nice, Roman. We got 5 more counts here. 5, 4, 3, 2. And on 1, come down the exact same way you came up. So head first, then shoulders. Bring your hands down next to your heels. And now bring your hips down. Now you can bring your knees so that they knock together. Bring your knees all the way down to the left, and then rotate them all the way down to the right, as if you're windshield wiping with your shins there. Windshield wipe back and forth, whatever feels good, so you can release any of the stress that your body just took on from that constriction. Release all of that constriction so that it becomes a shine instead. Find your breath here. Beautiful. Straighten your legs now. And now actually bend your knees again, but hug them into the chest, hugging your knees with your arms. Good. Now start rolling. Forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back until you find a seated position. Gorgeous. Straighten the legs. Beautiful. We're going to come into what's called intense west stretch. For this one, we need to have a really strong, straight spine right here. Our legs are straight. We're going to fold over our legs. Ladia's good at this. She can even guide us into this. For this one, though, I think you must do this in gymnastics too, you want to really keep your spine as straight as possible. So don't roll over your legs. Instead, keep those shoulders back, keep that spine straight, and you'll come down as far as you're able to. To get into this pose, for most of us, let's bring our hands, for all of us, let's bring our hands overhead. Now, Charisse and Bruce, bend your knees a little bit, like this. Excellent. And that'll help you keep your spine straight. On an exhale, start coming towards your toes here. Maybe you'll grab your toes, maybe you'll grab your shins. Whatever you can do to keep that spine really straight, beautiful. Now, if you have your knees bent, if you can start to straighten those legs, but still keep your spine quite straight, make sure that your shoulders, you can always check this by making sure your shoulders are shrugged down the back. Good. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On an inhale, bring your body all the way back up to a straight spine. And exhale by shaking out those legs. Excellent. Bend those legs again. Toes on the mat. Come back up to Navasana. To boat pose here. Gorgeous. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this time we're going to bring our legs and our back down to the mat on a count of 5. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release your body onto the mat. Beautiful. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Now, leaving your left leg straight, bring that right leg up to the sky. Shoot it up. 90-degree angle here. Gorgeous. Bring your 2 hands so that it clasps the back of your leg wherever it's accessible. That might be the back of the thigh. Maybe it's the back of the calf. Maybe it's even the foot. Beautiful. Really find your stretch right here. Stretch into this for a few breaths. We're really stretching out the hamstring here. Moelia, can you pull down your foot even further towards your face? Excellent. Now follow my cues here. You're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right foot. You're going to release your right hand down to the ground so that it's coming out of your body at a 90-degree angle. Now you can keep your leg straight if you feel flexible, or you can bend your knee right here. And you bring your right leg over your left body for a twist. You want to come down as far as your shoulders will allow you to. So your shoulders, both shoulders, should still be on the mat. This is a great detoxifying twist. Hold it here. I'm going to come around. Beautiful. Beautiful, Cherise. Nice, Bruce. If you can, that looks really great. All right, inhale here. And on an exhale, I'm going to push your shoulder. Nice. Good. Nice, Roman. Beautiful, yeah. Grab your foot with your hand here. Can you bring this foot even further up? Beautiful. Let's leave it there. So now you're getting a good stretch and a really good twist. This is excellent for your insides right here. Nice, Cherise. Inhale for me. And exhale. All right, on an inhale, bend your right leg. And on an exhale, bring that leg all the way so it's shooting straight up out of your body. So both shoulders and hips are on your mat again. Excellent. Now bring your left leg up with your right leg straight up, shooting into the sky. Heels are engaged. Beautiful. And now, on a count of 10, we're going to bring both feet down to the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release the weight onto the mat. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Now inhale your left leg straight up, 90-degree angle towards the heavens there. Beautiful. Take both hands to the back of your leg. That might be the back of your thigh. Might be the back of your calf. Might even be your foot. Whatever is accessible to you. Breathe into this posture for a few breaths. Now take that right hand to the outside of your left foot. Let go of your left arm so that it's coming straight out of your body at a 90-degree angle. If you have the flexibility, keep your legs straight. If you need a little extra accommodation, bend your knee right here to accommodate to your body, whatever's accessible for you. Now begin to lower that left leg over your right body into a twist. Keep both shoulders on the mat once again. Wherever you can go to from there. Now this time, if it's accessible for your neck, you can shift your gaze over to the left. Breathe here. These kinds of twists are excellent for sort of exercising, kickstarting rather, our intestines, our liver, our kidney, all of those insides are getting a massage that they might not usually get. On an inhale, bend your knee. And on an exhale, bring that knee, that leg all the way back up so your shoulders and your hips are on the mat. Release your right arm down to the ground. Bring that right leg straight up. And this time bring your legs down to a 45-degree angle. Now on a count of 10, we'll bring those legs down slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release those legs into the mat. Shake them out here. Now bring both legs and hug them into the chest. They should be bent. You're hugging them into the chest. Here you want to take your knees and you're going to roll your knees around in a big circle so that actually you're feeling a massage in your sacrum, thanks to the mat, thanks to this cushiony floor. Reverse your circle the other way. We're going to do one more round of twists here. This time, it's a little bit more lenient. Take both of your knees, hug them into the chest exactly as they are. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knees and drop your knees over to the right. This time, if your shoulders come off the ground, that's fine. Here, we're just getting another really good twist, and we're starting our wind down. This will be one of our very last poses. We're starting to get our body into more stillness. Shift your gaze over to the left, if that's accessible for your neck. Inhale, and on an exhale, bring your knees back to center, releasing the posture. Keep your knees up here, hugged in towards the chest. Now bring your left hand to the outside of the right knee, and start bringing those knees over to the left side of your body, dropping your right arm straight out. If your shoulders come off the ground, that's just fine. Shift your gaze over to the right, if that's accessible for your neck, and feel the twist here. This should feel really good, and if it doesn't, then change your posture so you do feel good. Inhale, and on an exhale, bring both knees back to center. Now shoot your legs straight out onto the mat, letting your heels go to essentially two corners here, opening up your stance just a little bit, maybe a little further than hips width. Beautiful. Let your arms come down next to you, palms up though this time. Excellent. In yoga, this is what we're sort of striving for. We're getting to the point now where we could go into meditation. Part of meditation is just practicing stillness of mind. With stillness of mind, we can practice that through stillness of body. So for a few minutes here, we're going to practice just stillness of body. Let your eyes be soft here. Start to close them, blink them close. What we're trying to access here actually are alpha brain waves. This is that state between being awake and being asleep. And in those alpha brain waves, you can start to explore your subconscious. Or even better, maybe you can just start to be still, being truly present, letting go of any of those thoughts, and just being here. This is our last pose called Savasana. We're going to practice Savasana for just a few minutes. Let go, release, and don't be surprised when you feel my touch on your shoulders. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes as you come back into this consciousness. Bring your feet, your legs together, and being aware of those around you. Try to stretch your arms overhead. Stretch out your body. And roll over to your right side. Plant your left palm into the ground as you come all the way up into a seated position. And bring your hands back to heart center. This is the end of our class, but with the end of our class, I want to remind you that from this, we're training the breath, we're training the mind, so that we can walk into this world with compassion from the mind, compassion in our speech, and compassion from our hearts. Namaste.
Namaste.
The end.
Woohoo!
Yay! Roman, you did such a good job, Deuterino.
That was challenging.
Where's Cleo?
That was challenging.
She was in here.
Good.
Cleo was in
I
here.
was like dripping sweat on the mat.
Good.
I'm not.
I just have really sweaty feet.
It's a really sweaty feet.
I hated the half moon position. I hated the half moon position.
But you did such a great job, Roman. I was really impressed.